Today, we will talk about the Pakistan India conflict and see who holds a better position in this conflict and who is behaving like a scared cat. But before anything else, I truly feel sorrow over the fact that civilians on both sides suffered, and many had to bear the loss of precious lives. And all of this happened because of India's irresponsible actions, since it was India that initiated the attack. Any country has the right to respond when its sovereignty is violated. This entire chain of events began with the tragic killing of 26 innocent Indians, who were reportedly targeted simply because they were Hindus. In response, the Indian government violated the Indus Water Treaty and even threatened to cut off Pakistan's water supply. Instead of doing that, India should have focused on protecting its own people. But India put their lives at risk by initiating a conflict with Pakistan. Pakistan's reaction was quite clear. It declared this a red line because water is directly linked to Pakistan's survival. Although India cannot actually do this under international law, Pakistan chose to respond with only a warning and did not take any further action. I have listened to the press conferences of both the Pakistan and Indian armies as well as Modi's speech. Based on that, I would like to share my neutral opinion. But the way India is behaving, even if someone speaks neutrally, India will still find it biased. Just like how India is currently criticizing US President Donald Trump for trying to bring about a ceasefire. It's honestly quite ironic that the person trying to mediate peace is the biggest supporter of Israel's terrorism. First of all, I consider India's narrative completely baseless when it says that their action was against so-called terrorists and not against the Pakistan army. First of all, before blaming any other country, India should re-examine its own security system, which clearly shows their failure. On top of that, without any investigation, India violated the international border of an independent country. And now, Prime Minister Modi is making an immature statement claiming that the operation was not against Pakistan and that Pakistan should have supported them. Now, can any Prime Minister really make such a statement? Even thinking about it feels strange. If you had any concerns, you should have first talked to Pakistan, and if you didn't get a positive response, then you should have used international platforms to present your evidence and concerns. As you've done this before too, targeting Pakistan on international platforms. Instead, you chose to carry out an attack across the border on Pakistan. But in this conflict, India has shown a clear lack of responsibility. After the Abhinandan episode in 2019, India should have realized that India is not like United States, that you will cross Pakistan's border and Pakistan to let you go. Yes, if India want to do such things, they can go ahead and show them in Bollywood movies. Pakistan won't say anything about that. But in the real world, doing something like this would be an immature and reckless action. After the Abhinandan episode in 2019, Modi made an immature statement saying that the absence of Rafale jets was felt. Here I should let you know that this means Modi still didn't get the point. That Pakistan will not let you go even if you have F-35s. Pakistan will fight back even if only 1 square inch of its land remains, even if the entire country is devastated. Of course, India should acquire modern weapons and upgrade its defense systems. That's important for any country to protect itself. But that doesn't mean a country should start throwing its weight around just because it has power. Honestly, I can't help but laugh at India's childish statements. But at the same time, I do understand their pain. The embarrassment they are facing on international platforms due to their irresponsible actions is not easy to bear. Their arguments are just bizarre, claiming that Pakistan is using Chinese and Turkish weapons. Can there be a bigger joke than this? Proudly relying on French jets protecting their airspace with Russian missile systems and using Israeli drones while criticizing others for using foreign weapons. Now, does that even make sense? Should we start asking why India uses weapons from France, Russia, and Israel? But ironically, this is exactly the kind of argument some Indians are making. Then, to cover their embarrassment, they started claiming that India damaged Pakistan's air bases and saying the attack was precise and caused significant damage. But these statements seem more like face-saving tactics than facts backed by evidence, because Pakistan allowed international media to visit and observe the site, openly showing that how much damage occurred. And that is the courage it takes to face the consequences of conflict. In contrast, India tried to hide its own losses, avoiding transparency and raising questions about the credibility of their claims. Even they do not courage to accept their actual loss. The interesting thing here is that, according to the New York Times, India and Pakistan talked big, but satellite imagery shows limited damage. This proves that Indian media and YouTubers, including Dhruv Rathee and the Deshbhakt, are making baseless claims. It is truly shocking to see such reputed YouTubers spreading unfounded statements. For example, suggesting that someone purchasing land in Pakistan indicates the rise of terrorist groups is completely misleading and without evidence. If we look at history, even the United States denied Modi a visa in 2005 due to concerns over his alleged role in the 2002 Gujarat riots. This was the international standing of India's current Prime Minister at that time. So now the whole world is foolish, except for India? It was the global community that removed Pakistan from the FATF grey list and is providing IMF aid. Are they all fools too? Apparently, only Indians believe they are the only intelligent ones in the entire universe. This is how India is moving forward these days. Now, PM Modi said their operation was against a terrorist camp and that India did not target any army installations. Uh, what kind of joke is this? On one hand, you're saying that your operation was against terrorists, but on the other hand, you're telling your own people that you also damaged Pakistan's air bases. This shift in narrative clearly shows confusion, or perhaps a desperate attempt to turn a failed operation into a political victory. All right, let's assume that you feared a counterattack and to intimidate the Pakistan army while targeting a so-called terrorist camp, you sent over 80 plus fighter jets hoping they wouldn't retaliate. Now that you had achieved your targets, you should have stopped there, even if it meant sacrificing your jets. But we saw that after the Indian jets were shot down, Pakistan didn't take any further action. However, the next day, India sent Israeli-made drones because they did not have the courage to send jets again. Those were also shot down by the Pakistan army, not just one or two, but dozens. There's a limit to incompetence. Let it be remembered here that, according to India, they successfully carried out attacks on 9 locations in Pakistan. Now, after this humiliation, when India could no longer find any real target to satisfy its innocent public, they started launching missile attacks. This is proof of India's failure. They wanted Pakistan to suffer some kind of damage, so they could tell their own people that they had hit Pakistani army installations. Even if they had to target dummy locations, they were willing to do so. But unfortunately for them, they couldn't even manage that India should understand that their immaturity is being paid for by innocent Pakistanis and Indians alike. And all the shouting by Indian channels and YouTubers is pointless. The world has seen who is spreading lies and who is being forced to face embarrassment. And lastly, to Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, I would just like to say your entire life will be spent trying to prove your loyalty, just like an Indian army officer called Sophia a terrorist sister, simply because of her identity.